Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Benedict Construction. You see the website right there. Not only are they your remodel specialists, but the folks at Benedict Construction are now providing custom shutters that you'll see popping up all over town. I know they put them in for they were working on a house. They put up the shutters, and then a neighbor said, "Hey, we like those. Give us those shutters." And then another neighbor saw them and said, "Hey, give us those shutters." So actually, the first house is like, "Well, why is everybody stealing my shutters?" There you go. You see them right there. They can do all kinds of colors. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Designs can be different, and at half the price of what you would get at one of the big chain stores. If you're looking for new shutters, Benedict Construction. Not only are they the remodel specialists, they can help you with shutters. Check them out at bcknoxville.com. All right. A lot has been made over Josh Dobbs' passing numbers. Part of that traces to the receiver position that we talked about last week. There's a website, thanks to Dave Hooker for setting me up with this. Congratulations to Dave. Heading off to Chattanooga to be their #1 radio host down there. ProFootballFocus.com. Every year they do or every week they look at every player in the NFL and grade each individual player on every single play. They're dipping their toe into the college waters, and they went back and looked at Josh Dobbs last year. Over at the Benedict Construction Big Board, we have Tennessee's passing numbers from a year ago. Now, to break this down and make it easy for you, down the left side just tells you how far they were throwing it. 20 yards or more is the top line, 10 to 19 yards next down, 0 to 9 yards, and then the behind the line of scrimmage passes. Then moving left to right, well, that means you're deep left all the way down to behind the line of scrimmage right. So you got left, middle, right, deep to behind the line of scrimmage. As you can see, and I think part of this is going to hold up for whoever your quarterback is. Short yardage passes is going to look better than your deep passes. It'd be odd to find a guy, he can really complete the 25-yarder, but he can't throw anything 3 yards. So some of that has to be taken into consideration. There are tiny little check marks in the corner of those, probably too tiny to even see. But he had more production, Dobbs and the receivers had more production last year in that 10 to 19-yard range across the middle, the 0 to 9-yard range across the middle, and then the passes behind the line of scrimmage, where he just kind of flipped it to one of the running backs. They got great production on that, 413 yards on 64 of those, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then you've got, at the medium range, the intermediate, 0 to 9 yards, short passes across the board, left, middle, and center. Anything that surprises you there in what you're seeing, or does it just reinforce what you thought? That's a lot of yardage. You're talking in the 0 to 9 yard range, 79 of 112, 637 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Behind the line of scrimmage, 75 of 85, 510 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So you're looking passes less than 10 yards. It's 1,100 of his 2,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Thoughts?
I think you got to be impressed with the numbers in the middle, John, all the way down. I mean, for Tennessee, we've heard that they don't really trust him. Yeah. And those are the most impressive numbers on the board to me.
And I wonder I'd love to go back and break down how many times that was him rolling to his right and then throwing back to the middle of the field, just based off a scramble, off a little bit of getting outside the pocket, whether it was designed or if he was just flushed out and went back across the middle. How many of those were designed passes to go straight across the middle?
I'm still a little bit surprised by the deep ball numbers being as poor as they are. I would have thought, I understand they're going to be poorer than the other numbers, but I just think that those aren't good numbers no matter how you break it down. That your deep game is just not there. And how much does that hurt your offense by the defense being able to say, well, they'll throw it down, they'll throw a couple of shots a game, but don't worry about it.
Now, I'll also, there are a lot of people who are upset by all these. You see it online. A lot of fans aren't happy with these passes behind the line of scrimmage. Well, anybody can complete that. Maybe so, but it's effective. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing to remember. Yeah, you'd love to have a guy with a cannon arm who can throw it 45 yards down the field. But if you're 57 of 64 for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, there aren't many teams that would say, no, we don't want that. So even if you're throwing behind the line of scrimmage, you're getting something out of it, at least across the middle of the field.
It's really part of your running game.
Yes, very much.
Because you're throwing to your backs, and that's the way the game is now.
Yeah, very much so, especially in that offense.
And it becomes problematic to me when it's not working. I mean, when you do it 4 or 5 times in 2 or 3 series, you've got nothing out of it, then it looks bad.
If it's 3rd and 10, and all you've got is a pass behind the line of scrimmage.
That's true.
Yeah, and the 20-plus yardage, I think he was 16 of 46. It doesn't have to become much better, right?
Right.
18, 19 of 46 could make a big difference. The outside 10 to 19 yards, if that needs to be a little bit better. I think that was 10 of 32. That could be a big difference for Tennessee's offense.
If he can, we've talked about this all spring. If you look at the numbers that T. Martin put up and compare them to Josh Dobbs, Dobbs is more accurate, and you can say those are short passes, but Martin couldn't run like Dobbs can either.
No.
But I think if Dobbs completes one more deep ball per game, a deep ball a game, you've changed your offense considerably. That's going to change those numbers so much that you're going to look at, oh, okay, he had a much better year. If you complete one per game, if you complete two per game, then you're a hero. But one per game would make a difference.
I think it also, you got to go back and look at some of those passes. Did he have the guy open and he just flat missed him?
That's true. Another thing you have to keep into consideration, in their breakdown, he had 16 drops. So 16 of those passes that weren't completed last year were flat drops. So you're going to have some. 16, that may be an issue. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk. SEC coaches talked about Butch Jones and UT. Philip Fulmer talked about UT. We'll just tell you what they said. And then later on in the show, we got a major announcement about the Sports Source. You don't want to miss that. Come on back.